right, hello friends. So I wanted to talk to you about a few things. So for those of you that follow me on social media, those that I actually still have, in terms of followers on social media, not friends. Should I restart that? No, we're good. Okay, so I got rid of Twitter recently, and so I've noticed that I've had a lot of opinions out there that I then just can't get out. So I have some opinions I want to get out there. Spoilers. I'm getting into spoilers in this video, so just be aware. Spoilers. And there's been a decent amount of things going on in the horror world, so I want to touch on some of that stuff. The first thing, and I probably will have titled the video this because it's the more interesting thing that's going on. Neve Campbell not returning to Scream 6. Yes. I've seen a lot of different opinions on this, like a lot of different opinions. And as a lifelong Scream fan, I will say I don't care. Like I side with everyone involved in this, where it's like, yep, I understand that Neve Campbell feels that she should be appropriately compensated because she's really important to the Scream franchise. And clearly we got to see how, if you're that important, that shows, like with the Halloween Legacy sequels, it's shown, if you're that important to the franchise, then you should probably get paid. But it doesn't really take into account of like, is Sydney the same without Dewey and Gale? The side characters kind of make Sydney. Like, it's such a weird thing where it's like, I don't disagree with her, but I'm also kind of like, I mean, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. It's like, I don't know. This is horror, and it's never been something that you are making a ton of money off of. And she's doing like the Lincoln Lloyd, like she's doing these things that it's clearly for money. So then it's just weird. And especially given the fact that her role in the last Scream was so minuscule. I think that's more of what it is. So if you're a producer and you see this and you're like, because I assume that her role in Scream 6 is similar to 5, where it's like, we have to pay a premium for this person, or we could just get rid of it and it really doesn't change the story. Like, that's kind of my thing, is like, yes, it's one thing if the Sydney character had just an amazing arc in the Scream 6 script and like, she is just so vital to it. But, I mean, based on the last film, the only person that was vital to the script was Dewey. So then it's like, if you want to be vital, then they probably would be killing you off, which Neve Campbell has already said that she won't agree to. So that's another aspect. Maybe this was them. Maybe the script has her, maybe it has Sydney dying and Neve wouldn't agree to that. Like, there's a lot of aspects with it that I don't know. Like, I side with everyone involved because it's like, yep, I understand Neve Campbell's side to it, but I also understand the studio's side to it. So, I mean, it's unfortunately the only people that really lose here are the fans. And again, it just doesn't matter. There's so much. I think that's one thing, because I've seen a lot of people very upset about the fact that Sydney's not coming back. And it's like, yes, be upset about the fact that this actress was stiffed on this paycheck. Like, be upset at that, because yes, that's something that's acceptable to be upset about. But the idea of like, oh, this is a sequel, therefore it needs these people, I don't agree with that. I think that, because last I knew, Gale Weathers is still in it, and so Gale also, based on the last film, is going to be going through a lot, versus Sydney, where they wrapped everything up. Like, I don't know. There's a lot with it where I'm like, we don't need Sydney for it. And if anything, best case scenario out of this is that she's able to take a little bit of a break. The story's able to take a little bit of a Sydney breather and then potentially bring her back in the future. The one thing that, I mean, they just don't kill her off screen. That would not be, I don't think that's even a somewhat of a thought, but you never know with these kinds of things. I wish that things were more settled on it and that it was as smoothly as Scream 5, but it's not that way. But another cool aspect of Scream 6 that was revealed is that it takes place in New York City, which a Scream film in New York City, that is intriguing. Like, it sucks now that every time Scream 6 gets brought up, whatever they end up calling it, then the Neve Campbell stuff gets brought up. Because it's like, what about all this other cool stuff that's going on? It's whatever. I'm excited for whatever they end up doing with it. It's filming right now in Montreal, standing in for New York City. And I think that just the fact that it's taking it to a large city makes it an interesting enough change. But then next up, recently it was revealed that 2 Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequels are in development. They are sequels to the Netflix Texas Chainsaw film, which I reviewed on this channel. And if you watch my review, you know that I didn't have much of an opinion about the film one way or another. And so I think that they can course correct enough on it that they can probably have a decent enough and fun enough time with it. But they've already proven with the first film that they don't seem to really understand what makes Texas Chainsaw. I mean, one of my biggest criticisms is the fact that they make Leatherface just into Jason Voorhees 2.0, which even in the Andrew Baranski version, the remake and the Texas Chainsaw, The New Beginning, even though he's this hulking brute, there's still some, I don't know, and something going on up there. And the biggest thing is that the filmmakers aren't super reliant on, oh yeah, you need to smash through the door now. Oh, you needed to do this out of nowhere. Something that's totally supernatural and unrealistic. And honestly, now that I think about it, I don't even remember like what happened in that Texas Chainsaw movie. Didn't Elsie Fisher survived, right? Yeah, so I guess she could get brought back, which she just had a really, really good turn on HBO's Barry. So that would be interesting. My AC just kicked on. That's probably showing up, but okay, whatever. But yeah, it's not, I don't care. I don't care. It will suck. And if they course correct, then it can maybe suck, but be entertaining. That's where we're at with this Texas Chainsaw series. And then today, Lightyear came out in theaters, which I don't have a ton of interest in, but there is this tweet by Patricia Heaton. Oh wait, up that way. Saw the trailer for Buzz Lightyear, and all I can say is that Disney Pixar made a huge mistake in not casting my pal Tim Allen in the role that he originated, the role that he owns. Tim is Buzz. Why would they completely castrate this iconic, beloved character? Don't be like this. I feel like I just needed to just address it. I was gonna go into it, but I feel like me just reading it out just kind of reiterates the point of how stupid she is and how stupid this statement is. But yeah, we'll move on from that. Another thing that's currently going on is Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus series. Now, I probably should wait like a week to do this because there's only 1 episode left, but it's whatever. I don't know how many times I'm going to do these. I don't have a name. Nerding Out. Is that a good title? Nerding Out #1. Yeah, this is me nerding out. Yeah, we'll call it Nerding Out #1. So if you guys have not watched, which I can't imagine there's many of you, because I mean, nerds and Star Wars go together like peanut butter and jelly. And this is a nerdy channel. I hope that you guys are into Star Wars, even though it's horror related. As in the channel is horror related. I wish Star Wars was horror related. Ugh. Give me some Star Wars horror and I am all on board. Whenever they actually get into any kind of horror side, I'm like, you guys don't even understand your full potential. There's a lot of stuff with this Obi-Wan series that has just blown me away. The young Leia aspect, the Vader being just legitimately terrifying. I don't think that Vader has been as scary as he is here since, well, I mean, obviously Rogue One, they had that great scene, but since I was a kid, I don't think. He had just entered that cool status for so long that now it's like, no, he is like legitimate he is terrifying. And I can't say enough good things. I also love, because I kept seeing a lot of, I need to just stay off the Star Wars subreddit because those people are just fucking seem to hate everything. But they had mentioned of like, oh, well, what was the point of even casting Hayden Christensen back in the role? Which obviously episode 5 kind of changed that. But even then, it's like, could you imagine watching this stuff and like seeing the interactions between Vader and Ewan McGregor and like just watching it and being like, oh yeah, that's a stuntman under there. No, it adds so much more when you know that it's Hayden Christensen under that mask. Which, yeah, it's not him 100% of the time, but for the most part, you can assume that it's him. So then it just, that baggage gets brought along, and we get to then all the different history between Obi-Wan and Anakin. You can see it in a frame versus, well, it's Ewan McGregor and some random stunt guy. And then one thing that I have to talk about, because it's been the talk of the town, Inquisitor Riva. This girl does a fantastic job. And I will state right now, I fucking hate Inquisitor Riva. I've never, especially after those first 3 episodes, I've never wanted a character to die more. But that's the point of a bad guy. You're not supposed to like him. Like, I feel like we've gotten to the point where people have forgotten that, like, oh yeah, this character, I don't like anything about them, therefore they must just be poorly written. It's like, no, they're getting the desired effect from you of not liking them. So like, it works. You're not supposed to like her. And I think that she absolutely nails everything about that. She's so unlikable in so many different ways, yet, and it's all character based. Like, she does so many things where you're just like, oh, this bitch. Like, can't believe she did that. Oh, can't believe she did that. Oh, can't believe she did that. It's like, that's what makes a good bad guy. And I'm not saying you're not allowed to dislike her, but like the amount of just racist vitriol surrounding her was, as a nerd, it was very disappointing. Then another Disney Plus Star Wars, or not Star Wars, another Disney Plus thing that I need to talk about. Miss Marvel. Oh, Miss Marvel has just been, it's been phenomenal. If you're a fan of Spider-Man Homecoming, it's really the only thing I can really compare it to. It's so good. Or if you're a fan of the Spider-Man character, because I feel like her and I feel like Kamala Khan and Peter Parker have a lot of that like whimsy, and the fact that, too, one of the easiest comparisons is that, well, they're like fans of the Avengers before actually joining the Avengers. So stuff like that just adds really interesting dynamic to the characters. And what Iman Vellani does phenomenal as Kamala Khan. I'm so glad that they were able to just nail that role, because obviously it has a very upward hill to climb because of the fact of Brie Larson being Captain Marvel, which, I mean, the vitriol around Brie Larson is just ridiculous. But I mean, I also am in agreement that she's a terrible Miss Marvel. So the Marvels already has quite the heady, like the steady hill to climb. But I think that it still can do a very, very, very good job because of Iman Vellani's Kamala Khan. Yeah, they're only 2 episodes in right now, and I assume that it's 6. Are they doing more for that one? I hope they're doing more, but it seems like most of these Disney Plus shows are 6, so I assume it's 6. They're only 2 in, but I've enjoyed it a lot so far. And finally, last thing I need to talk about, I just finally fingered. Let's hope not. I just finally finished Stranger Things 4, and which I guess I can't say that because there's still 2 episodes. I am now caught up on the volume 1 or book 1. What the fuck did they even call that? I think they called it volumes. Volume 1 of Stranger Things 4. Finish it up. So good. It's probably the best storytelling of any season. I'm not sure I'm not sure if it's the best season. I think it probably is, but I really enjoy when everyone's all together and interacting, which there was a lot of not that in this because of people being separated so much. But it's so good. And like, it took me it took me a couple of weeks to finally watch it. I wish that people had just told me that, hey, this is the Nightmare on Elm Street season. Like, if I had just been informed that it was the Nightmare on Elm Street season, then I would have been on this immediately because, yes, please. I love me some Nightmare on Elm Street, and it has so many elements from that. Obviously, the obvious being Robert Englund phenomenal job. And I say that as a fan of Robert Englund, but also someone that accepts the fact that, you know, he can be a little hammy at times. Not here. Here, this is legitimately great acting, and it's one. I really hope that it kind of opens him up more, because obviously people know that he's an established actor, but I really hope that people use him more than, because he was only in the one episode, well, maybe technically two, with like little bits, but he's really only in the one episode, which is too bad because I could have gone for so much more Robert Englund. And the number one, he was fantastic throughout the entire season. I did not expect that twist in any way whatsoever. And yeah, it was just fucking phenomenal. Though I will say, Young Eleven is so goddamn creepy. I don't know, like, I understand they did like the whole deep fake thing, and it doesn't look bad. It just looks creepy. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, that's really all. I've been rambling for a while. I like this format. I think I'm going to do it again in the future. Just collect some random pop culture things that are happening throughout the month, and then talk about them in a video. So this might be a monthly thing. We'll see. In terms of this channel, I don't like to plan anything out, just because you guys know me. I'm real bad about that. But yeah, let me know if you've seen any of the things that I've talked about today. I think they're all really, really good. And yeah, that's really all. Hope that you guys are enjoying your Friday, and I will see you in the next video.